Welcome to another episode of A Balanced Approach to Business Growth. This is your playlist for top tips, insights, and practical strategies to help you grow your business your incredible way. Here is where you'll find actionable advice to simplify your approach, to help you refocus on what truly matters, to help you make real progress in your business while working smarter and not harder, helping you to embrace focus, if you like, helping you to build a joyful and sustainable business that really lights you up. As a business coach, I am passionate about helping ambitious business owners just like you bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Whether you are a solopreneur, growing a team, or somewhere in between, this playlist is your resource for turning ideas into outcomes without sacrificing your happiness. Today, I'm going to talk about quarter one or Q1 and what it's taught me. Why? Well, it's been a interesting quarter, particularly the last couple of weeks. My husband has had a hip replacement. I've got two children, teenage children at school. It's all felt a bit chaotic. I've had to do more around the house because my husband isn't available to do the things that he normally does, something I touched on in my last video, which was one of those really rushed videos. Also, I'm recognizing and feeling that there are some really good habits and routines that I've got out of, fallen out of. One of the things I committed to at the beginning of this year was recording a video for this playlist and putting it out every Monday. Again, I didn't do that. And I almost said I failed to do that, but I didn't do that last week. I just had too much on. And that might really resonate with you. And you're too much on the things that are happening around you, the environment, life stuff, business stuff. Your list will be very, very different from mine. Equally, another reason I perhaps didn't record a video was because my hairdresser had to put back my appointment. So my hair doesn't look great, which means that I don't feel maybe quite as sparkly, or I'm worried what it will look like. And all of those things really impact how we show up. And actually, whether your hair looks great, whether you look like you've just stepped out of the salon, whether you can remember whether you wore this jumper for the last video or a completely different one, all of those things, they're just excuses in some ways. But equally, they're the little things that we tell ourselves and it's almost like the reasons. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the reasons. It's the excuses we give ourselves for not doing stuff. When we get to an end of a quarter, whether it's Q1, 2, 3, or 4, that's a real opportunity to step back, to realign with your goals. It's an opportunity, if I could get my words out, to ask ourselves, what's working, what's not working, what feels good, what am I missing, what am I not doing? And also an opportunity to get back into good habits or choose new ones. What I'm also recognizing, and of course I know it, but sometimes we just need a little nudge to be reminded. I've been in business for 13 years. And I wanted to do this video today, which, in some ways I don't have time to do, but I want to get back into good habits. You might think that I've got it all figured out. You might think that I know exactly what I'm doing. Well, in many respects and in many ways, of course I do. But business is constantly evolving. We are constantly evolving. So no matter how long you've been running a business, the way you work, the systems that you're using and the strategies, they need to continue to develop alongside you. I really am struggling with my words today, but I'm just going to keep going. And equally important, sometimes what worked for you last year may not be working for you this year, but also what worked for you last quarter may not be working. Right now, there is something going on with the LinkedIn algorithm. My reach has absolutely dropped. Evidence, things are changing, things are evolving. So it's a good moment to step back, consider where you are, think about what's going on in the business. So I've been doing a bit of reflecting, and I thought I would share that with you to see if anything resonates with you. So my first realization which is making me laugh because I really, this is the kind of stuff I encourage my clients to do, but quite often, don't find my own way with, or I'm not consistent with. But here's the thing. A content plan actually works. Now, you might be saying, well, of course it does, Lindsay. We've all been doing those for years. Yeah, and I kind of, or not I kind of, yeah, I kind of have had a content strategy plan in place for all of these years. But it was kind of high level. It was kind of, these are the things I'm going to do. It's going to be 5 posts to LinkedIn. I'm going to publish one blog a month or one a week, I should say, because I don't do monthly, it is weekly. So it was quite high level. And then what would happen is when I went to do those things, I was kind of stuck with that blank paper problem. What am I going to write? What am I going to talk about? So this year I committed to getting more detailed with my content plan, really thinking about the blogs that I wanted to write, how that would feed into the content that I was going to share on social media, how that would reflect in these videos. So I guess after years of winging it or having this high level strategy, having something that's more detailed has really helped me, particularly over this last month, which has been more challenging. And there have been more external factors clawing for my time. So it's kept me focused, it's kept things cohesive, and it's meaning that I don't waste so much time sitting at a blank piece, looking at a blank piece of paper or a blank screen. Planning ahead absolutely has removed the stress. And when I say planning ahead, really figuring out what my content's going to look like. What's the message I want to share? What do I want to do? So if you are struggling with your content, if you are struggling with your marketing strategy, have a look. Is it detailed enough for you? Is it too detailed? What's going on with your marketing strategy? What's happening? What's working for you? So take a look. And if you have been doing what I've been doing all these years until now, high level, really take some time out to detail it, to think about what you want to get out, what message you want to share. It will absolutely ensure that your messaging is more cohesive, that your pieces fit together better, which means you probably find yourself creating less content. So that's a time saver. So where are you at with your content strategy or your marketing strategy? The second realization, and this isn't a realization by any stretch of the imagination, because I am a huge advocate of networking. But for me, it's really been recognizing and seeing how LinkedIn plays an incredible role in that networking, in the follow-up, in the conversations, in creating the one-to-ones. So using my LinkedIn alongside of my networking, but equally starting to be brave around how I use LinkedIn to create those conversations, to use it more as a networking platform. I'm talking about LinkedIn here, but that would apply to any other social media channel or platform that you are using. It just happens LinkedIn is my primary platform. Hey, and if we're not connected, come on over and find me. So for me, it's networking and one-to-one conversations are everything. And they play a vital role in my marketing strategy. And no matter how long you've been in business, whether you are just starting out, whether you're a fledgling in those early years, or whether you have been around the block, having the right people around you does make all the difference. It's the conversations that you have that open up doors, that bring fresh ideas, that help you stay in touch with your audience. All of this really does help you to move forward more quickly in your business. And if you're ever feeling stuck, I absolutely recommend that you get yourself along to a networking meeting, because these are the places where you will be inspired, where you will be lifted, where you will be motivated, where you will find incredible people that are on your journey, that are being open and honest about their journey, when you find the right group, that is. And I recently recorded an incredible interview with Henriette Durnell, where we talked about networking and how networking supports your business growth. So do check that out. In fact, I'll make sure I put a link to that video in the notes here below this one, just so you can find it really, really easily. Yes, I'm sure there's a way for me adding it on at the end, but hey, I'm busy today. And I might not have time to work all that out. No, that is not an invitation for lots of people to come and tell me that they can help me. Because right now I'm having a great time recording these videos. I'm having a brilliant time learning my own way with YouTube and developing this platform, which is probably another realization in itself, which isn't on my notes at all. Just having fun in your business, being on that journey and letting it evolve and pan out for you. I think we can get into that habit of everything's got to be perfect. Well, I know. I don't know why I said I think. I know. We all feel that everything's got to be perfect. And if anything, this YouTube channel and me really committing to it this year has shown me and proved again to me that when I have more fun with it, when I decide I want to learn how to use it better, that's a journey of discovery that I go on. Now, that doesn't mean to say at some point I won't need somebody's help, but right now I'm having the best time. And as I go along in this journey, I learn something new. And that wasn't on my notes at all. So that's like a bonus realization. And that's why I kind of love doing these a little bit less scripted, because stuff comes to me. I have my own realizations. But just to recap, because I have gone off track just slightly, a content plan or a marketing strategy absolutely works. Mine was very high level and I needed to make it more detailed, and that's keeping me focused. It's making sure that my content is more cohesive. It is saving me time because I'm not creating content permanently. I'm seeing how it fits together and how I can use it. My second one was networking and one-to-one conversations being everything, which I always knew, but how I talked about how I'm getting braver around using LinkedIn as a networking platform and having those conversations. But absolutely, networking is key. It is how you stay in touch with what's going on, staying in touch with your potential clients. It's how you have those fabulous conversations that open doors where you find the help and support that you need. Which leads nicely onto this next one, actually, which is talking things through really sparks solutions. Particularly if you're a solopreneur, we miss the water cooler moments. Do you remember those when you worked? The water cooler moments, or you were stood by the kettle and you were chatting about something and someone said, have you tried that? Or did you know they could help? We don't get that as solopreneurs. When you're working on your own, you don't have those water cooler moments. You don't have those people that you can spark ideas off or shout across the office and go, has anyone tried this? Or does anyone know how to do this? Or I've got this problem. We really do miss that. And that's really when networking can come in, having those conversations and building that community around you so that you have someone to bounce ideas off. And dare I say it, AI. Chat GPT. Yeah, I said that right. Another great place to have conversations, ask questions, banter back and forth. Honestly, chat is a great friend of mine, and I've had some brilliant conversations, which has really helped me in developing ideas, offers, content ideas. So having someone to bounce ideas off, and that is particularly important to have, not someone you can just bounce ideas off and share thoughts, but also someone that you can talk to when you're feeling a bit flat, when the mojo is missing, or when there's lots going on around you and you just need someone to say, hey, you're doing okay. Hey, you're trying to do too much. And that might be a business coach, or it could be a business mentor, or it could be just a really good friend who is in the same industry, or it could be another business friend who is not in your industry at all. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, absolutely, really talk through your ideas. Make sure that you have a space to do that. And you'll be surprised how quickly clarity can come when you've got somewhere to bounce that off. And actually, that's why I offer a clarity call, because often it's that space that is so needed for someone to go, I've got this problem, or I'm thinking this through, and they just need space almost to verbalize it, to say it out loud, and then maybe with a little guidance and a few questions in the right places. So if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed in the business and you don't have anyone to talk to, again, I'll put a link below to make sure that you can book a clarity call. Now, this last one is a big one because I'm really good at overwhelming myself. I'm really good at choosing to put too much into my plans. So not overloading my quarterly plan, my Q1 plan has saved me, absolutely saved me. Now, we weren't sure when my husband was going to be having his hip replacement, which is a big operation. We're only on week 3 and recovery takes time. And, not able to make your own cup of tea. So that gives you some idea of where we're at on week 3. But having my quarterly plan and really sitting, in that space at the beginning and going, okay, what do I want to achieve? What are the most important things? Now, when I plan in a way that I have high priority, medium priority, and low priority. Now, that really helps to ensure that I stay focused on what really matters and what moves the business forward. And then the low priority is, okay, the week hasn't quite gone to plan. I've got less time than I thought, perhaps. Then sometimes that's when I bring those low priority activities in because they're usually quicker, don't need too much of this, don't need too much sort of resource and energy. Or it might be that I look at one of the medium priorities. Now, eventually, those low priorities will, of course, become high priorities. So it doesn't really matter that I've jumped on board with one of those tasks. But having that plan has meant that certainly for this quarter, I step back and go, right, I don't quite know what's happening. We're not quite sure if the operation happens. Where do I need to be? What's really important? And it's really helped me to not overwhelm myself, something that I used to do a lot. Okay, so I used to plan myself into a failing quarter, something I don't do anymore, but I can still cram a little bit too much in it. But by changing something I did only in January of this year, by changing so that I had high, medium, and low priorities, it really has helped me keep moving the business forward, no matter what else is going on around me. It's provided me actually that opportunity to be a little bit more flexible. I think I was too rigid. I was rigidly setting myself up to fail, but it has now given me that little bit more flexibility. Um, but if you're always feeling a little bit behind, and I think this morning I did feel a bit like that. I'm going into a Q2 and I'm like, I think I'm a bit behind. Where am I? And I had to have that conversation with me. Actually, I'm not behind. I'm moving towards my goals. I'm making progress. It's perhaps had to change, that creating, because I had flexibility, was able to look at my priorities slightly differently. And I have had to move some quite reasonable sized projects, things that I really wanted to give my time and attention to in Q1. I did have to make that decision about halfway through to move them into Q2, which immediately removed the overwhelm and stress that I was feeling, meaning that I got everything else done. So a quarterly plan, and I know I've talked about these before, I've done videos on them before. And more recently, I've actually created a really simple 90-day spreadsheet for my clients, for those that aren't quite in that place. Yes, we do 90-day planning sessions, but I wanted to give them something that helped them really have a document, if you like, that set it out. And I wanted to help them take their quarterly planning to a different level. So let me know if you need that. Okay, so why does all this matter to you? Why am I sharing this with you today? One, I think it's really important that we're open and honest with one another. I was on LinkedIn earlier this morning and someone had said, someone who, is a social media expert who knows how to do this stuff. And they were saying that they'd seen a real drop in their engagement. It was a relief to hear that it wasn't just me, that my content was just complete drivel and nobody was reading it. There is something going on and there's some algorithm change. And he had noticed that. So when we are open and honest, I can tell you what's going on in my, when I can share, not tell you, when I can share what's going on in my business and how I'm feeling. I think that's really important for more of us to do that, because otherwise all you're seeing is the good. All you're seeing is the 10 steps to 6 figures. All you're seeing is be a millionaire by following this formula. And I want you to see a dose of reality so you don't feel that you're on your own. So you know that others are experiencing what you're experiencing. And in doing so, I can share with you some of the tips and strategies that I use, which may benefit you and you may find useful. But also, no matter how experienced you and I are, there is always something to learn. And if you're feeling frustrated in your business, and this is something, it's a real alarm bell for me. If I'm feeling really frustrated in the old days, so in the first, 5, 6 years, I would do more. It's not working. I need to do more marketing. It's not working. I need to produce more content. I need another social media platform. I need to do more networking. It was always about what more could I do? Instead of sitting back and going, hang on a minute, what do I need to adjust? What can I optimize? And in fact, optimize is my word of the next quarter. So you're going to see a lot more content around optimizing because I really want business owners, instead of looking at how they can work harder, what they can do more of, want them to really sit in that place of saying, what can I optimize? What can I tweak? Because sometimes it's just the smallest tweak that makes all the difference. What needs adjusting? And that adjusting may come because you have evolved, your business has evolved, or an algorithm has changed. So as we move into Q2, now you could be watching this at any time of the year, because let's hope these videos keep getting watched and I keep showing up. So you might be at the end of Q4, Q3, at the beginning of a completely different quarter altogether, although you only have 4 to choose from. Um, but really think about what's working for you right now and be honest with yourself. Now, you might need some metrics for that. You might need some data. So if are you collecting the right data? Social media has some brilliant data and analytics that you can use to see which platforms are working for you. Your website, if you're using Google Console, Google Analytics, there will be some fantastic data there that will be helping you. Are you converting your sales conversations? Are you having enough conversations? So really think about what's working for you now, right now, and bringing in the results that you need. Most importantly, I'm moving you towards your bigger goals and targets for the year. Excuse me. What's not working? Okay, it's an obvious question, really, isn't it? But again, when you're, and this isn't about let's see what's working and then see what's not working. You're doing these two alongside of each other. So really take time to look at the last quarter or month or wherever you are and whenever you are watching this. It might be you're looking back at a whole year. What worked? What didn't work? The one thing I would say about what's not working anymore, just make sure that there isn't something that just needs that small tweak, that small change. Have you, I don't know, maybe you've been blogging monthly, and that's not working for you anymore. You're not seeing the same results. Is it because you're not sharing that content in the same way that you were? Please make sure that you don't go, well, that's not working. I need to find something else. That's not working. I won't do that anymore. Just make sure you're really exploring with curiosity why that's no longer working for you anymore. Because it might be not that you need to do more, not that you need to find something new or different, that you just need to change how you are doing that thing. Now, the third thing I wrote on this list, so what's working, what's not working, what small shifts could help you create more ease and momentum. Too often, and I know from experience, and I see this with clients and with business owners that I engage with, they're looking for the big thing. They're looking for the big change. So often it's the small shifts that we can make. Perhaps you've fallen out of really good habits. Perhaps you've let your boundaries slip. Sometimes it's the really obvious and the really simple that we can change or improve on that make all the difference and get us back to that ease and that momentum. So there are my takeaways from Q1. What about you? Whichever quarter you are in as you look back, Are there some big realizations? Are there some small realizations? Notice here, I'm not talking about major wins or celebrations, just saying what can we learn from the quarter? And that learning that we can see, how can we use that to improve our next quarter? So, what's something you've learned? Tell me in the comments. And remember what I said earlier. When we share, when we're honest, and when we're open, we help others. We support others on this journey. And being an entrepreneur, being a business owner can feel sometimes like a really lonely journey. And that's one of the things I don't want it to feel like, which is why I'm stepping up and doing a weekly video. Okay, I missed last week. Forgive me. Okay, so tell me in the comments. Um, of course, if you have enjoyed this video, which has been far less scripted than any of my others, so I have gone off-piste a couple of times, hopefully it has provided you with the learnings that I aim to set out in sharing with you. Please hit subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. If you know someone who would find this valuable, tag them. Feel free to share it with them. But if there is something that's really come up for you really strong, again, please do get in touch and let me know. So my contact details are below. I will make sure that there is a link below for the video I mentioned on networking and my fabulous interview with Henriette. And I will also share a link to that clarity call. Until next time, next week, I will be back. I promise we're going to get back into that routine. I may even talk about routines and boundaries because that seems like a good follow on. But until that time, keep showing up, keep taking the small steps. Because remember, by showing up, by taking the small steps, by seeking help and support, by being open to new stuff, by exploring with curiosity what's going on in your business, by being brave and honest, you are making progress every day, no matter how small or how slow at times it might feel.